Peace, family. I hope you guys are happy and healthy and doing well. I came out to the garden to harvest some longevity spinach. And I've got some work to do out here, but I thought before I start doing all that work, I'd like to share some things with you guys that I've been thinking about. So towards the fall or at the end of the summer season, I always like to think about what I would have done differently or what I want to do differently next year. So let's start over here. These planters are coming down. I would rather them sit on the floor and push the trellis back and let stuff climb up. I had them up here to catch sunlight. But I think it's enough sunlight on the ground. I don't think anything needs to come up this high and catch all the southern sunlight. I did get one cantaloupe from this cantaloupe. This is just now. I planted this seed and it's growing out well. I don't know how big or bushy it'll get by the time the cold hits. I had a cucumber here. It died. Didn't get any cucumbers. It was a lemon cuke and watermelon. So I would put these on the ground and I would probably only have one melon and maybe like one shallow rooted something, flower or something like that. I will absolutely do my turmeric exactly the same for next year. By the way, I already started with this little ginger. So this will probably die back when it gets cold, and I'll leave it there, and in the spring when it's ready it'll sprout back out, and then I won't harvest it again until the end of the year or the fall next year. So oh shit, sorry y'all, I stepped in some ants and they caught me off guard. So that's it for that corner. Over here, I'm not sure what I could have done differently. I just tied up these tomatoes, thinned it out some more, tried to move them around where like this one still has its own space. This is currently the only tomato who has given me tomatoes. There was only two of them and they were a little raggedy looking, but they were tomatoes, and it's a little raggedy looking. But again, it's the only one producing. So, I don't know what I could have done differently over here. Maybe giving the tomatoes some shade. I feel like I just kind of kept them alive throughout the summer, but they were not thriving. They were not producing. So I'm actually considering, instead of giving them shade, planting them in a shadier bed, like this bed. This bed right now has carrots, green beans, mostly things that will either die or be harvested out of here. So I could easily add a trellis over here and do tomatoes in this bed. And this bed doesn't catch as much sun as the bed that they're in, but it's not like, well, none of this is fully shaded, but the further this way you go, the more shade you will have. So while we're over here, I'll show you guys that I will not be planting any more of these brassicas in my garden beds. I think I'm gonna leave those to the grow bags probably. The only successful one is this Brussels sprout. I think it's successful. I don't really know what it's supposed to be looking like. So yeah. My tree collard here died. Tree collard there died. This broccoli died. What is doing well is my greens, my collard greens. But as far as broccolis and tree collards, no. And look at this kale. This kale I planted last year in the fall, and it's in a grow bag and it's doing perfectly fine. So what I think is, when we had all that rain that these kind of got drowned out in this bed because the rain kind of goes under here, and I was thinking they would drink it, but maybe it was too much. But my marshmallow though, I'm thinking about putting right there. I think the marshmallow would love to drink up all that water. I'm gonna have to replant that. I like this. I'm gonna do this again. I'll probably start my sweet potato in the kitchen like I did and put it in here when it's time, and I'll let it take over because we're harvesting those sweet potatoes very soon, and after that I'm gonna start moving seedlings and cuttings and different stuff in there for the winter. So it's like perfect timing when it's time to harvest those. That's when I need it back anyway. It's giving me life. Absolutely doing loofah on here again. It looks just how I imagined it. And the loofahs are now starting to flower. You can see there and over there. I'm doing this again with the melons, I think, and letting it sprawl out this way is perfect. There's a melon over there. Yep, I like that. Oh, one thing that I'm not doing again, I'm not gonna have peppers and eggplants and stuff like that on this table. I had them up there to catch the sun, but I think it really kind of struggled, to be honest. I think it was just too much sun. Man, I think that's all I have on my mind right now. But I just wanted to share this with you guys so that you could also walk around your garden and think about what you want to do differently. What can be better? What did you learn? What went well? This is the time that I'm reading my journal a lot to see what did I do last year in the fall, so that I can still be successful with the things that I was successful with, like my carrots and stuff. And so if you don't have a journal, I encourage you, go ahead and get a journal. Write down the seed you're planting, when, and how long did it take for stuff to sprout, and what did you put in the soil, you know, when you planted your sweet potatoes, and boom, look at all these sweet potatoes, you know, just so you can keep learning from what you're doing. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know or tag me in the video if you guys go through your garden and see, like, you know, what went well and what didn't. I'll see you in the next video.